Someone was left off of a Hall of Fame speech. We might see a face turn in AEW. Netflix canceling stuff left and right. Holy cow. A lot of hush money's been paid. We're going to talk about that. And we got Bryan Idol, a.k.a. Mercurio, in the house.
Awesome.
On a first edition of the All Effin' Wrestling Show. From the four corners of the globe. Oh, wrong one. Coming to you live from the FN Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown. It's the
Effin' Wrestling Show
with your host, Canada Dry and the JFB. Welcome to the newly named All Effin' Wrestling Show.
We are going to talk about nothing until nothing is absolutely enough.
Holy Shaka Khan. We are rocking and rolling, guys. We talked about it. Here's a quick overview. Essentially, what we did was Just Another Effin' Podcast was actually a placard name. It was not intended to be the name of our podcast. And so, me and the Canada Dry talking on the Facebook gimmick and decided let's just shoot for it. Let's just go for what we really want.
Well, here's the funny thing. Bryan Idol, he wished us a happy 1000, and he accidentally called us the All Effin' Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Why don't we make that the name of the show? We just had a show at the end.
So
you actually helped change our name.
So that is.
I'll take my royalty check in the mail.
Yeah. We start making some money here.
We will have you on retainer for sure for other names and titles and ideas. So we are called the All Effin' Wrestling Show. And, of course, the format doesn't change. Before we get into our main event, talking to a real-life superhero, the detective of Gotham City, we're going to go into, of course, the news.
The news.
From the four corners of the globe to your backyard, this is FNN, Effin' News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. This coffee is heaven.
Fantastic. It is. Oh, nice and
bitter.
bitter. Nice and hot.
Our random fact of the day is the human head weighs 5 pounds. I saw that on a 6th Sense, so it must be true.
Mine feels, I don't know about you guys, mine feels like it weighs 20 pounds. So five would be a break.
Were you drinking last night, Bryan?
Nah, man, just tired, and I got a show to do in a little bit. I just want to sleep.
Well, we're going to blitz through the news really quickly, I promise. So here's the news from the week that was. Undertaker talked to Bleacher Report recently about his Hall of Fame speech, and the question that was asked was, why was Mick Foley not mentioned? Undertaker proceeded to say, if I was going to talk about every opponent I ever had, we'd still be talking in my Hall of Fame speech. Mind you, he talked about Shawn Michaels. He did talk about Triple H. Bleacher Report asked him about it. He kind of weaved and bobbed and weaved around it.
Well, Mick didn't care. So
Mick didn't care. It would have been nice to have. It would have been nice to have had at least a hello, and thanks for being one of my greatest opponents. So what do you think, Bryan?
Brad either. So
yeah. All right, let's go to number 2, Sasha Banks. So apparently on the Peacock, you can go to your icon when you're selecting which account. And Sasha Banks was one of the icons that you could use. She has been taken off the Peacock. So now she's not only off of WWE TV, she has absolutely has absolutely no merch. There's no mention of her, and now she's not even on the Peacock. Holy Christopher Columbus, she is gone. Dallas, how you doing? Bryan Idol is so handsome. He's a good-looking gentleman.
You're very correct.
Dallas really loves
Steve
your "I'm gay
observation.
for Bryan Idol" shirt.
Sweet, man. I hope you bought it. That's cool.
All right.
Hopefully,
Penelope Ford was Tony Khan talked about Penelope Ford. A fan tweeted him and asked him what was going on with Penelope Ford. He did come out and say she is injured and she is still not cleared for wrestling action. For those who watched Dynamite but didn't see what happened after the show ended, Brody King was walking up the ramp. Darby Allin and Sting come out to congratulate him. He kind of ignored him and swerved over towards Malachi Black. So obviously there's going to be a House of Black versus Darby Allin and Sting, but do we see maybe a Brody King face turn in AEW?
Not. There was an autograph signing, and he attacked Darby Allin.
Okay.
So,
but you know, Tony Khan loves the long. He loves the long game. He loves the long game. He wants to talk. He wants to take a few months and build that story. I would love to see a face Brody King because he's been kind of a heel his entire career. Curtis Axel and Arya Daivari are no longer producers for Jason Jordan on SmackDown. They have been let go. There's no reason as to why, other than they may have been furloughed. They may be coming back in a little bit. Let's get to WWE news. Let's talk about the big news that broke this week. So we'll start with the small stuff. So 2 weeks ago when Vince McMahon was on SmackDown, he came into the back to the gorilla position where every single wrestler was perched, and the first words out of his mouth were, fuck them. That's right. That's what he thought of this whole situation. He said, fuck them. Netflix, which was doing...
That should be a WWE shirt. Fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck them. Netflix was doing a documentary about Vince McMahon. They have since, now mind you, this has already been filmed. It's in the can. It's getting ready to be edited, final edit, and they decided to scrap it. Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Netflix can't be affording to do that stuff. We're gonna have to pay for that in our subscription fees.
Yeah, your subscription is getting ready to go up another $2, guys, every month to pay for the
Thanks, Vince
McMahon documentary. Thanks a lot, Vince. The big one is now Wall Street Journal did report that over the last 16 years, Vince McMahon has paid an additional $12 million to suppress allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. One was for $7.5 million to a former talent that McMahon coerced into oral sex.
Do we wait? I don't want to cut you off here, but do we know who that is? Like, who got $7 million?
No.
One is a female wrestler that worked for him. I think there's a couple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying one of the payments. They said one of them was $7 million.
So here's the thing. My wife's an accountant, and so we're looking at their quarterly and annual reports to see if there's a discrepancy as to maybe slush money being used to pay these people off.
I think you're wasting your time on that. The guy's a billionaire.
We figure if we know what year it is, then we can figure out who was the female.
That would be extremely stupid to use
they're not going to put it on the books.
Yeah,
but I think it's more obvious is to just go through the roster and find out who isn't there and who never appeared on anything else after. Probably not a Stacy Keibler because she came back years later and did a Hall of Fame induction speech. So I'm saying it's kind of possible to deduce that way. I'm just curious, not because it's any of my business, but I just want to know who got $7 million. That's a good.
One of the big names rumored is Rosa Mendez. It's just completely rumored, but it's
I think that's a fair guess.
That'd
be a fair guess. I mean,
that fits around that time. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, man, you can't deny the fact these guys are like hound dogs. They are going to find out exactly what's going on. I don't think Vince is going to be CEO much longer. He stepped back.
Well, I don't think it's it's not about the thing about all that is it's not about like, so, you know, if WWE was still a private company, then he would be CEO and it wouldn't matter. But
Yeah.
it's because it's public and shareholders and board of directors and ethics and blah blah blah. I mean, I think they have no choice. They got to pull them off. And it's
Yep. I agree.
Like I said, it's not even about right or wrong or one way or the other. It's just it's a public company. You can't have that.
You can't do stupid crap when you have shareholders. You just can't. You know,
Yeah.
You just can't do it. So we always end the news with the good news of the week. FTR, Supreme Tag Team Superstar Cash Wheeler gave Wardlow a pep talk and tried to calm his nerves backstage before he went to face Scorpio Sky for the TNT title. Wardlow said that he was a bundle of nerves. He was pacing back and forth. He was kind of sweating. And then Cash Wheeler came up, gave him a pep talk, and said, "Go get it." And he went out and won the TNT title. That's our good news.
Yeah, this one, I just want to throw some commentary on this one. I'm probably not going to make any friends, but it sounds really bizarre to me.
What's that?
I mean, the guy does it for a living, dude. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're doing this your whole career, and so you're getting a big moment. So it's like you're nervous about getting a big moment. I don't know, man. It's just, if it's me, I don't see it. Like, I would be like, there's got to be more to that story. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're saying you don't get nervous before a big title match?
No. And like, was he tripping on mushrooms? Like, I don't understand what he's bugging out about. Like, I don't get it.
Well, you've also been doing this a lot longer than him.
Hey, come on, man. The guy, listen, let me tell you something. If you're doing TV like that, like, you know, this is something that maybe enough wrestlers don't say when they're doing interviews and whatever. The amount of detail and stress level that goes into doing the most basic episode of TV is like will aid you in wrestling. Like, you could be on indie wrestling for, I don't know, 20 years and not have the stress level ever of like a quiet studio taping. And I'm saying, like, he's been in AEW for a long time now, like a few years. So I don't know, man. I just, like, to me, I don't really get that story. I don't know where it comes from. Yeah, it's a feel good story. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it just sounds like a puff piece for the fans. But I mean, if it was me, I mean, I guess, like, if I was trying to make my buddy sound cool and like put my friend over, yeah, I would like that story. But I would also be like, I don't want people to think I'm nervous out there. Like, nervous.
Well, you also see like Liv Morgan crying after she won the title. I'm like, well, you knew you were going to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not real.
Yeah. That's called good acting, yo.
Yeah.
All right, that is our news. So before we get to the main event, let's go to our joke of the week. Oh, joke of the week is coming from Taylor Cooper. Again, this guy's on a roll. So here is our joke of the week.
Hey, what's up, All Effin' Wrestling Podcast? This is Coop, and here is your joke of the week. Why are toilets so good at poker? Because they always get a flush.
What if you flushed the flush? Would it still count?
Jeez. Now you're trying to break into space-time continuum.
Yeah.
Man. Stop trying to screw the universe up. You can't flush a flush. That's it.
Taylor Cooper, brother of Alice Cooper. Maybe he should have went into the music business.
We'll have to get he'll love to see you say that. That'll be fun.
So joke of the week is brought to you by the new movie on UHF 62. Channel 62 has all the best movies. It is called Conan the Librarian. If you don't know the Dewey Decimal System, you're probably going to get cut in half. Conan the Librarian on UHF.
I totally don't remember Conan the Librarian. Did you see UHF, Brian?
Yeah.
Of course I did. But when he just said that, when he said UHF, I thought you guys were seriously talking about a UHF station. What's going on over there?
Oh, it's our fake sponsor, UHF.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the main event. gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. I don't think our guest needs any introduction. If you haven't seen him fighting crime on Walmart videotapes, by God, you've seen him on NWA. We are, of course, talking about Bryan Idol, a.k.a. Mercurio. Welcome to the show.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me, guys.
Our last interview with you was so captivating. Just like hearing you talk was pretty cool.
We just love bullshitting with you. That's all there is to it. We just want you on so we can just chat for a little bit and just relax and pick the mind of a pro wrestler. So yeah, go ahead, Canada Dry. I know you got questions, brother.
Okay, so why don't you just go ahead and we know the story, but it'll sound better coming from you. So what actually happened with the Walmart thing?
Well, so to not make it the longest story in the world, so basically there was a bunch of us flying back from the NWA tapings. That was after like a 4 or 5 day stretch there, so we were pretty tired. And so Natalia was on the plane, so Natalia and I wanted to sit together, so we switched our seats to the back of the plane. And so that's relevant to the story because when we were in the back of the plane, obviously, when you're in the back of the plane, nobody else would see our stuff other than the person across from us because we're in the back of the plane. So think about when you get off an airplane, everybody's going forward. So you don't look at what's behind you. You're always going forward. So, so we get off the plane. I think I went to the bathroom and I came out. She noticed her purse was gone. And so from there, we spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out if it was, in the proper channels, like maybe somebody working for the airline, cleans the plane off, took it or whatever. So it took us about 30 minutes to figure out that it's not. Somewhere in that process, I remembered, I said, hey, don't you have your earphones in or your AirPods in there? And she said, yeah. And I was like, are they charged? And she was like, I don't know, let's see. So took her phone out, did the Find My iPhone thing. And sure enough, it said they were in the airport. So we're like, okay, they're here. Like they're it's reading them. And then so I'm kind of wandering around the airport, figuring I'm like, I don't know, maybe they took it into some office somewhere, blah blah blah. And then turns out that's not what happened. And all of a sudden they appeared. They pinged like 40 minutes down the road. So we jumped in an Uber. We got to my car, and then we went chasing after the AirPods, and then. Basically,
so you guys speeding like 80, 90 miles an hour at this point?
Nah, I mean, I was just driving regular, dude. We got a track around the thing, so I know I'm going to run into whoever it is at some point. So, and like I said, my logic is not like I got to beat the guy up or whoever it is, a girl. It's going to be, hey, I can tell you have this stuff. So, I'm going to be like, how are we going to, figure this out? And I'm figuring from that, when somebody gets busted like that, they're going to just... well, what are you going to say when somebody's like, hey, my AirPods are beeping in your pocket? So it ends up, we get to Walmart, and as we're getting there, there's a fraud alert going off on her phone. So I immediately, and I said to her, I had a feeling, I said, there's only one person on that plane that would even saw your purse, and it was the dude sitting across from us. And she was on the aisle seat, so he was close to her seat. And so I get the fraud alert, on the phone, and I know the guy's at the register. So I look over the self-checkouts, which are right there, because obviously if you're stealing stuff, you're going to go to the, the self-checkout. You want to interact with as few people as possible. Yeah. And then the funny part is seeing the surveillance cam later on. This idiot couldn't even figure out how to scan the TV. So then he had to have the lady come and help him scan it. And then, so he wasted so much time at the register. He probably would have been in and out of there. So he at least would have been not in Walmart, which probably would have been worse for him, actually, because then it probably would have seriously injured him. But the funniest part, like I said, was he's scanning it at the register. So I walk up to him, and that's what you see on the video. You see me walk up to him, and you see me say to him, I'm like, hey, that's her credit card you got there. I was like, what are you trying to do? And like, I just thought that the guy right there would kind of drop his guard and be like, all right, I'm really sorry. Like, let's just figure this out. And, got her stuff back, and that's it. And I'm like, yeah, it was a dumb thing you did. But instead, he kind of like cursed at me. And as that's happening, Natalia's yelling to the people that work there, like, "Hey, that guy's a thief," like whatever. And people in Walmart are clueless, and they're just standing there. And then he like pushes through me, and so when he pushes through me to run, that's the other thing. So, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I didn't know the rules if I could hit this guy or not. So that's why when I tackled him and took him down, I mean, when you do that, somebody's dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to try to fight you and whatever. So I was like, well, at this point, he touched me and whatever. So now I can do it because, like I said, I might not have walked up so calmly or at least been ready to do more in the moment. God forbid this guy had a gun or a knife or whatever. So that's why, like, I tried to maintain a little distance and whatever. And then, because I didn't really know the rules. Can I hit this guy? Can't I hit this guy? So I like how somebody just said it was the greatest clip they've seen, but then in the last few weeks. So anyway, the guy runs. I know I'm going to catch him. I can see he's slow as soon as he starts running. So he's totally panicking. I tackle him. That's the rest is pretty much what it is. I take him to the ground. I got him in an arm bar at one point. Then he's trying to punch me. I threw a couple elbows in on him. Natalia actually held his other arm for a little bit because he hit me a few more times, and that was the thing, dude. Everybody in Walmart is trying to tell me to get off of them. They don't really know what's happening, and it was just it was funny because if it was in the street, I probably would have just seriously injured the guy. But again, you're in a store with people, and it's this and that, and it's like the kind of thing I didn't know what was going to happen. And then when the cops came, the cool thing was they informed me. I love this law in Florida. If you catch somebody in the act of a felony, you're essentially deputized, and it's a citizen's arrest.
Nice.
So I caught him in the act of a felony. So that was pretty amazing, and I wish I knew more because I probably would have took a punch or two less to the face.
Yeah.
Deputy Bryan Idol.
Yeah. So I was, and which is good because you don't face any liability in that. So, the real good part of the story though was. So the way, again, now that was a cool law working in my favor, but then the way the rest of the law works is they were not really going to give us that money back because it's hard to prove that it was hers.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I had to actually, and they don't want you to talk to a criminal after they arrest them. And I had to actually kind of sit there and convince the cop to let me talk to this guy just for a minute.
Yeah.
And I had to convince the guy, hey, look, we won't press charges if you give her stuff back. And if you give her the money back, it'll be all good. And it took a minute to convince that guy, but I convinced him. And so he gave us the money back and whatever. Because, some people in the message boards and stuff are like, oh, I can't believe you let this guy go. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't think this guy is a career criminal. I think he saw an opportunity. He took it. He got carried away. I mean, if you see the video, it doesn't really do it justice how hard. I mean, you can see it, but you don't feel it because it's not close up. Like if that was a cell phone video close up, I hit that guy so hard into the ground. Like I can't even explain it to you. It was like a car crash. I was on top of him. I never felt the impact of the ground, and I slid. That's how hard. Like,
oh wow.
He was not in good shape. Like they had to get.
Well, you played a bit of football, right?
I did when I was younger. Yeah, and it was exactly. And the funniest part, so it was like a mix of a football tackle and wrestling because I slammed him down and he wouldn't really do that in football. And I chose the left side with my arm my shoulder when I connected because of where his feet were. So if I would have hit him with my right shoulder, which would probably be more natural, if I would have done that, I kind of would have got my feet tangled up in his, and there would have been no way that I could put him into the ground with all that impact. And I did that math while I was running behind him. It all was in my head so fast. So, I like that. Iowa's got the same law that dude said. But, so bottom line, man, I took him down. I busted him. And we got the stuff back. And, it's a pretty crazy story, man. It's just like, one of those things. It was a wild day. It was a wild end to, very cool NWA week, and I don't know if you guys saw the episode that came out yesterday. I think you guys saw it. But,
that was a great interview.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And I mean, the best part I can tell everybody is like, even though that thing had edits in it, I'm telling you right now, that was all one take. Like that was all just filmed. I didn't know, my responses weren't planned. That's just me on the go.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of that. So there's a lot of segments for them that I filmed that are just like that. And like that was the part that impressed them all so much was everything I did is just one take. And they were like, yo, this is hilarious. Like,
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you create the Mercurio character?
50-50. So I suggested we do. So the thought process is there's a storyline here, and I don't want to give it away, but
Yep.
I suggested we involve some of the fact that I've been on romance novels and I do modeling, and so there was that part of it. The name and the Italian part and the twist of that is the creation of Billy Corgan. So it's a 50-50 deal there, and I love the direction that Billy took it in and is taking it in. And one thing every time I mention his name, one thing besides saying that the Smashing Pumpkins are awesome, and I once saw them in concert.
For sure.
When I was about 50. I saw them on Super Bowl Sunday in Rochester, New York, in concert when I was 15 years old, and that was cool. I was looking forward to that one. And so now years later, a lot of years later, I worked for Billy Corgan, and like I said, the thing I would say about him is a lot of people would say a guy like that who's got a lot of money and bought a wrestling company, they'd say, he's a mark or whatever. And case in point right there, like with my gimmick and the direction of it, Billy is anything but a mark, and he's got a great mind for wrestling and a great mind for business in general. And the coolest thing about him is I think anybody who has this kind of situation behind him, like, I know the NWA isn't what it was in the 80s, but, he's bringing it on the way back up. And, somebody who essentially would have this vehicle, it would be very easy for them to get delusional, or the mark part of it would be like, we're going after WWE, we're going after AEW, we're going after Impact. Billy Corgan doesn't think like that at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He wants to do what he wants to do. He doesn't sit there. He doesn't sit there and pander to what everybody wants. And he doesn't sit there and think about, how am I going to outdo these guys? Or how am I going to take this talent? Or how am I going to use this? He doesn't. Billy Corgan likes, I think that's one of the appeals about me that he likes, is that I haven't been in all those places really. And, I still am a high level talent. And he's like, here we go, man. This is like, you know what I mean? Somebody that, he sees me as somebody that has a huge upside that he has all these ideas for. And I'm saying, like, I trust him. That's why I trust him. Like, when he comes up with stuff, I don't feel like, I'm not like, why is he doing this? Like, is he doing it because he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it some like marquee agenda or like some corny thing? And it's like, no matter, even if some of the ideas are silly and I'm like, I guess, not that I've really encountered that, but even if it was, knowing him like I do already, I trust his gut. So like if he says something to me about me, I trust where it's coming from, because like I said, he's level-headed, and he's not a mark, man. And it's like, not like it's a surprise, but it's just something I think some people who are cynical about the wrestling business would not expect. They would be like, all right, this guy's some mark, concert guy, musician.
Yeah.
He's really not, man. I could go on about it, but it's a big thing I would like the world to know.
The Mercurio character feels very 80s. Like they don't do that anymore.
Well, that's the cool thing. And Bryan Idol in general is very 80s. I'm as 80s as it gets in life. So and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, it's great.
Oh yeah.
And I'm saying, like, there's room for that in life, because leave it to the 20-year-olds in the world to come out to trap music and all these things that are current culture, and it's all cool, it's all good. I mean, I like I love chicks in their mid-20s, and
don't we all?
fan. So I'm a big fan, but I have my own style and my own vibe, and
Yeah.
and it's a little bit retro. At this point, it's really retro, I guess. The '80s was a while ago, but that's the era I was growing up in. The
You
80s
got
and
that new
90s.
ring entrance music, and
Yeah.
I shared it to our Facebook and our social media and everything. It's
Yep.
fucking stuck in my head. Like
Good lord.
it's happy.
It's it's modeled after a couple of very very good '80s songs that I liked when I was growing up. So I kind of incorporated one or two songs as the inspiration, and that song was written by me and another dude. He actually does wrestling music. It's Jack of all tracks. He did he did Natalia's music. He did Truth Martinis. He did a bunch for.
We did the Russian Crush
TNA.
song. Like he's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a great.
so
That's a catchy song too.
I've been in a band with that dude. It's so wild because I've been in a band with that dude like 20 years ago, and we haven't like worked together musically in I don't know, 15 years.
Yeah.
And he kind of went his separate way. I kind of went my way, but we were always friends. Like we just were doing different stuff. And then it was weird because like one day I heard a song. I think it was an Impact, and I was like, or TNA or whatever, and I was like, I recognize that guy. And then I was like, yo, I hit him up, and I was like, this sounds like you. And he's like, it is me. And I was like, what? So he was like, I thought I told you, and I was like, no. And then he was showing me other music, so it was cool to get back together with him, and we wrote that song together, and even in the original version, he sang some of it, and then he's still in there. Like I still kept his vocals in the chorus behind me, and but yeah, I wrote some other parts of the song. I produced it, and then I just finished that recording like days ago. And I went down to my brother. He's got a studio in Buffalo, and I was over there for the day, and I did that track. And then I'll tell you, it's done, but there's still some small changes on making it. But I just wanted to get it out there. I don't care. So we're gonna do a big music video, and they'll probably have a lot of celebrities in the music video. I got a bunch of buddies that want to pop up in it, so that'll be cool. Something to look forward to. Yeah.
That's not bad. That's my bread and butter, music videos. It's the whole reason why I live in Nashville.
Oh, you live in Nashville, man?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, sweet. You going to come to those tapings for NWA next time?
I am. I got tickets.
All right, man. Sweet.
Yep. I can't miss those. Come on. I love the NWA. I know people kind of shit all over it, but I think it's relevant now as much as it was in the 80s. It has that 80s feel. It's got that studio feel to it.
Let me give you some perspective on it. I thought that I didn't understand at first why it looks like how it does. I didn't realize the production level of the NWA is so high.
Yeah.
They want it to look like that for that exact reason that you just said. So we're basically looking at an 80s style in 4K HD,
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool. And, I think there could be some tweaks and changes in the future. And I think that'll be determined. Don't be surprised if the NWA ends up on, more than Fight TV and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of layers to the NWA. And you got to understand content, the need for a lot of content and whatever. But if you really look at the core roster of the names you do know, because there's a lot of people that are, getting their start there or like filling out the layers of the content. But if you look at that, the known name top tier guys, I mean, there's a powerful roster there. And it's as good as anywhere else. And so it's not a question of is the talent level there. It's not a question of is the production there. It's the style, sure. And like I said, if it hits a more mainstream TV, there'll probably be some tweaks, probably even whether Billy likes it or not. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I think that women's roster is as good as any in professional wrestling.
I think it's the best women's roster out there.
Here's a prediction. Yeah, here's a prediction I'll give you about that. If it's not already, NWA will 100% have the best actual women's wrestling roster in the next 6 months. That is my prediction that I would almost guarantee. And again, what I was saying though, with the NWA, go to places like Puerto Rico and anywhere in Latin America, NWA is more revered than WWE.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'm there. Like in Puerto Rico, NWA pops people more. They're like, yo, I grew up watching that one. That was the one we cared about. That was the one that we thought was like the most legit. So knowing that, like I said, dude, it's just things are cyclical, man. It comes around, and like I said, NWA gets a more mainstream deal. Watch out, man. Whether it's TV or some other medium that's more mainstream, watch out. That's all I can say. Because
should we open up any questions from the fans here?
Sure. Yes, of course.
If anyone has a question, but in the meantime, I want to talk about our misunderstanding about CYN.
Oh man! All right. So I was gonna say don't talk about it, but yeah, no, go ahead.
Man. Yeah, CYN. You had posted that you're trying out for CYN, and I'm like, I don't like CYN, but I like Bryan Idol, so I'm going to support him. And it was all a joke. You were just like, you weren't really trying out for CYN.
Here's the deal, man. I would never, because I'm saying this is why I was saying this. So I would never truly knock promotion, and I get why a lot of fans are hating on it, and I understand it. Here's what I would say about CYN. I like the Fight Club style vibe of what they're doing. It's cool. It's edgy. It's original. I dig it. Personally, also, I had a conversation with EC3 when he got released from WWE, and he didn't tell me this idea, but he told me he had an idea. And he kept saying, it's going to change wrestling and blah blah blah. And anytime somebody starts saying that to me, I was like, all right, okay, So I got a kick out of that, but like I said, he's a good dude. Always been real respectful, and I did a small spot with him before, and cool guy. But be that as it may, the fans definitely, because of some valid reasons, some not valid reasons, are they basically shit on the product. So,
well, they're not a fan of Braun Strowman. He's been
that's what I'm saying. One of the reasons, he's definitely got some beef with the fans, and maybe rightfully so. When you say some dumb things, that's how it goes. You know what I mean? But that's again, is that a reason now? Just because you hate Braun Strowman, is it a reason to shit on everybody? That else that's trying to do it. Let's get to this question real quick. I'll get back to that. So, would I face anyone on the pay-per-view? Who would I like to face in the AEW roster? Probably people I'm just cool with. Like, you don't see enough Sonny Kiss out there anymore. I'd like to I'd get in there. Honestly, I would love, but if you were like, all right, you got one person, one whatever, I think it would be Ortiz, because I trained him. So sweet. I would love to wrestle Ortiz at AEW because I created the guy. So that's awesome. To me, it would be a super surreal thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like if anybody watched my whole career and they really watched me wrestle, they would see a lot of me in that dude. Like he does a lot of things that I instilled in him. It's funny, like his movements and some of the reactions. And it's just so funny to me because I see it. Because, like I said, I trained him, so I know. But back to the CYN thing. It was funny because, like I said, I was teasing. I knew I was going to NWA, and I was teasing, this debut, and that it was the timing of CYN coming out. So then I had that match with Top Dollar, AJ Francis, and he was like, dude, let's just build the whole match around super kicks, and it was just to be funny. And I was like, yeah. And so once that happened, I was like, I saw the, no super kick rule.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it was good marketing. I was like, let me just put it out. And
I can't believe you even make that rule.
Yeah, no, it's stupidity, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why they get shit on. You understand? It's like it works both ways. Like in their mind, it's like EC3 smart. Like he's too smart. He's like, oh, it's gonna create a buzz. We're gonna be like, no super kicks, no dumb dives, and it's gonna create a buzz. And it does. But you gotta know that your fan base is gonna be smart mark internet fans just from the gate. You're not. The only way you're gonna reach non-smart mark fans is in your local grassroots promoting, or if you have a national TV deal. If you don't, and you're using Twitter and Facebook to promote your product, guess what? The only people that pay attention are smart marks. No regular Joe, no 9 to 5 working in construction or whatever job. Regular people don't give a shit. They're not looking at that. So they're no drop on someone else. Regular people don't care, dude. Like all this drama and all this news inside of wrestling, it doesn't exist in regular life, dude. Real people don't care. Trust me. You're talking to a guy who hangs out with a lot of hot chicks, and I can tell you a lot of hot chicks don't watch wrestling. They don't care about it. They don't care that I'm Bryan Idol. They don't care what it is. It's weird to them. They think it's weird, and I understand it. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, man. Like I don't expect a girl who has 200K Instagram followers and looks like a Barbie doll to really care about pro wrestling, and that's okay. So that said, I understand why, like they get messed with, but I just thought it was good marketing and funny to kind of swerve people. But I didn't mean it as any disrespect, and I'm not saying I would never. I'm not saying I would never do it. I like this question here. Somebody just threw in. Roddy Piper's a great promo guy, and who would I go back and forth with on the mic? I mean, here's the thing, dude. I mean, I've been back and forth on the mic with Mick Foley many a times.
Yeah.
And I think he's an all-time great at promos. I've had promos in there with guys like Kevin Nash. I mean, I forget, dude. So, I mean, is there anyone left that I would really like to go back and forth with on the mic? Yeah, The Rock, maybe. But it probably wouldn't end well for me because he's just too popular.
What are your thoughts on MJF and that promo he did?
I like the dude. I know him. I mean, I used to, in my Fed, I booked him back in the day when nobody knew who he was. And I always thought he was talented. Was it great TV for what it was? Yeah. Was it legendary in the history of professional wrestling? I mean, again, here I go not making any friends, but no, it wasn't. So it was great for what it was. He's a pro. He's great. Not like, for me, not like I'm jonesing to get in a promo exchange with him because he's that good. Just not. Like him, though. Good dude. Really talented. Gonna go for it.
I love the rawness and the realness that you bring. It's like you're not going to hold any.
I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything wrong. I like the dude. I'm just saying what you said. That it was a great promo. It was legit. Okay, is it The Rock walking out there? Is it Mick Foley walking out there? Was it Ric Flair? I don't know. So
I don't know. I'd love to see you and AJ Francis going at it. I think he's great on the mic.
He is. Listen to me. Talk about one of the biggest letdowns in the history of wrestling. That guy is a level 10 on the microphone. He just is. And some of wrestling is you got to believe your own character. It's got to be real to you. And AJ, it's all real to him.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, it's just he's brilliant in that regard. And it's like, so someone who doesn't pay enough attention to him or doesn't know him and they zoom out, you look at AJ and you're like, whatever, it's just some guy and his gimmick and blah, 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 blah. But if you really look, it's all real. It's all AJ. And that's why
is Top Dollar his name, or is that a WWE name?
No, he came up with it, but it's owned by WWE.
Yeah.
So he's back to calling himself Frank with the send sign. But like I said, WWE dropped the ball on him, and I get it. Yeah. Like he's a little bit of a listen. He's like kind of a bully when he talks to you conversationally. When he wants something done, he doesn't take no for an answer. Yeah. And obviously that doesn't sit well in the offices of WWE when you have this 6 foot. What is he? 6'6", 300, and I don't even know, but 300 million pounds.
Yeah, sure. Here's an interesting one.
I love R-Truth. Love him. I'll tell you, forget about a mic battle. I wish I could take you guys back to like 2008 to like this night that I hung out with R-Truth and we were arguing about my driving. It was probably the actual funniest conversation in the whole world. Like me and my brother talk about it all the time. And we were both doing something for the movie The Wrestler. And so we all went out and partied that night. And it was like he had to catch a flight out in the morning. We stayed up all night and just like I had this like all out piece of shit car, and it was so funny. We were all jammed in there, and we were up all night, and I was driving like a psycho, and just R-Truth, like this argument that we were having in real time, would have been wrestling gold. So I don't know about a mic battle with him, but just sitting in a room, busting each other's balls. Probably.
Well, he just seems like a genuinely funny guy.
He is hilarious and the coolest. And I'll make it known to the pro wrestling world, if anybody's watching, that remember when he teamed up with John Morrison?
Yeah.
Well, I assure you that it was his idea, and I also assure you that people don't know, but it was actually my older brother that was the guy that he wanted in that role, and that's what inspired the idea. Just unfortunately, my brother wasn't disciplined enough to be on that level, and so obviously when R-Truth had this idea, he went with Morrison, but he was originally telling my brother that, like, he was like, man, you just gotta like get a little better right now.
Yeah.
And like, I'll march you. Like that dude was like, I will march you in the office and be like, this is our tag team. So I always thought that was cool. And R-Truth is the man, dude. He's the man. Love him.
That is awesome.
Very vague question here.
What do I enjoy most about being a pro wrestler? Probably being able to make a living doing something fun and creative. Like, like it's an expression of art, man. And I'd say the best part is that, when you can pay your bills doing that, and I don't got to go, like, I don't have a day job. I haven't. I mean, the last time I had a job I was an audio engineer. Man, I was talking about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So it's been really cool to not, and that was a great job too. I mean, all I did was party with bands. But it was fun. A lot of girls and a lot of bands. But, just being able to wake up every day and pay my bills and make a decent living, it's pretty cool just saying, hey, this is what I do. And then, obviously you get the perks of, I parlayed it into acting and modeling and just things like that come with it if you're smart. And so it's a dream, dude. So
You run the FTW wrestling school. Is there someone that we should be watching for coming up?
Currently, no. Now all my students hate me.
Sorry, guys.
I would say this. Like, I don't mean it that way, but I'm saying I gotta. You guys understand like who's come out of there. So like, let's say Zelina Vega, Ortiz, most recently that I trained, and so they would count it as the WWN school, but I was running it, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So what's her name? JC Jane, NXT.
Oh, cool.
I'm saying so like, and there's way more. That's just off the top of my head, and I'm saying so if you just took like names like that, I mean that's a high bar. Like, so for me to say, watch out for this person, there's a lot of, I've trained a lot of people and a lot of successful indie wrestlers. So right now there's some people that are doing well and I'm saying they're cool. I don't know if I could say, watch out, this person is the next big thing off the top of my head, but someone will come along like that. It's just how it works. They come in waves. I do have a solid bunch of guys on a local level that I think are really talented and they're doing really well. Two that pop in my head, like on the local level, this dude VHS has come such a long way, and I'm so proud of him. And another one is he calls himself the Real Drago, Russian dude, Yevgeny, and
he's in our Facebook group.
Yeah. So he's coming along and he's starting to get out there, and so guys like that, I'm proud of. They do well, but. Nobody that I'm going to declare to the wrestling world that's next big thing this year. Sorry.
Next big thing.
Everybody hates me. I'm going to have no friends after this interview.
Well, they could prove you wrong and say, you know what, I am going to be the next big thing.
I mean, that's what I would do. But what people mostly do is they're like, hey, you shitted on me. Now I'm shitting on the students. So this is the end of my career. I'm just throwing it down.
So how did you get around to joining NWA? Did they reach out to you? Did you go to them?
50-50.
Okay.
Like I put out the feelers, and they came back to me, and so far it's amazing. And so I got nothing but good vibes, and I love it there, and I'd like to stay there as long as I can. I feel like it's a home, and it's legit.
I'm jealous.
Your friend and our friend Natalia Markova. Do you think they're going to put the belt on her at any point?
I'm not the booker, man, but I would say that she's obviously one of the best in-ring female wrestlers on the planet. I don't think that's debatable if you watch wrestling. Just the way she moves, the way she takes bumps, the movements of what she does, her looks. It'd be hard to say that they wouldn't put some kind of title on her, and you might as well put the biggest title on her. So
yeah,
I would say probably yes, but I mean, like I said about the booker, man. But the thing about wrestling is it's not always about championships. Guys like Mr. Perfect never won the world title.
Yep.
And actually, it's not true. I watched them win it at a house show once, but
it's one of those things where they take it away right away.
Yeah.
No, they didn't even. He won it, and that was it. He won it on the house show, and I remember watching wrestling the next weekend, and I was like, why are they not saying he's a champion? But it just never happened. But he did win the title.
So in the record books, it doesn't count, but he won it.
He won it in Rochester, New York. He beat Hulk.
Who did he beat?
I saw it. Hulk Hogan. I saw it.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Perfect.
Yep. And, I have to go down the street and go talk to Hulk Hogan about that.
Yeah.
Probably owe him money.
One of my claims to fame is that I am blocked by Hulk Hogan. One of my Twitter accounts has been blocked by Hulk Hogan for like 5 years.
What'd you say to him, dude?
I just called him out on some bullshit, and he just him and JBL have blocked me. JBL blocked me because I'm friends with Taz. That was the only reason why he blocked me, was because I was friends with Taz.
See, that's weird. Yeah. But I mean, I can't blame. So my thoughts on that are, I get that fans, can voice their opinion and whatever. But like, I used to engage in it a lot more. But it's like, I don't even wanna. Like, I used to almost people would bully me and I would bully them back, and I would be relentless. But like, you just reach a point where you're like, I don't what do I care? Just what I mean? It's just easier to push the block button and not see, because it does have an effect, dude. And sometimes look. I don't think it has much of an effect when someone's like, you suck, you're boring. That's funny. I laugh at those. But sometimes people go on wild stuff, and I definitely had that situation, with the fake profile and the speaking out thing, and that person still posts shit. That fake profile still tries to pop up and post stuff, and it's I can't believe I don't want to see that. I don't want to wake up and see that dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Garbage fake profiles and ridiculously fake stories and hurtful things that people say. Nobody wants to hear that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we had an episode where we talked about the 10 most dynamic changes in wrestling, and one of them was the internet, and for me, it's great.
The most dynamic.
Yeah. And it was the most dynamic thing that has ever happened in wrestling, because it brings you closer to the wrestlers, but you have a whole dark side of just pure. It's like a wave of negativity. It's just ugh.
And that's what I'm saying. So just to wake up and sometimes look, maybe it's an ego thing. Sometimes you just want to see what people are thinking. Sometimes it's a barometer. Sometimes people see. This is what fans don't understand. They have the power in a way that they don't realize. If you suggest a hilarious idea or a good idea and someone sees that, they might use it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above saying, I've had people suggest hilarious idea. I'm like, yo, I love this idea. And now it's in my head, and now I'm developing it based off what some stranger told me. And that's awesome. Yeah. And it's that's the power fans really have. But like I said, the ones that want to be stupid and the ones that want to just be dicks, it's dude, you're just spitting negativity, and you don't realize that what you're doing is you're poisoning the whole business, because now 10 wrestlers are getting around. They're like, man, you see that bullshit on Twitter? Oh my God, this person was saying this and this. And it's
Buff Bagwell, he he told us that some 12-year-old came up with the idea for Vicious and Delicious, and they just ran with it.
Yeah.
There you go. See? And that's what I'm saying, man. And that's what I'm saying. So there's a beautiful thing that the internet can bring, but at the same time, you know, when you put all that hate and that negativity, it just doesn't do anything but detract from wrestling. So, you know, that said, anybody listening, use the power wisely, man. You don't got. It's not about kissing everyone's ass and you know, being like, oh, they're the greatest. Even when you don't be disingenuous, just say, if you don't got, you know, the rule, if you don't got anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Or if you're like, you know, man, disappointing to see this, that's fine. No one's saying don't criticize. But when you're hateful and stupid and ignorant, it's like, it's just not worth it. And like trying to defame people that you don't know for situations that don't even exist, or you don't, it's so wild to me. And then like how fans jump behind that, like they're proud of it. It's ignorant, dude. It's like, don't.
Well, it's their
like,
clout chasing, right?
Yeah, it's
I
it's
got
so
underneath blah blah blah's skin, like
exactly. Or like, you know, even if you're like, it's like if you believe somebody is a jerk for whatever reason, that doesn't mean you got to go recruit people about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be like, so and so's a jerk, am I right? Retweet this and join me. It's like, come on, dude. It's like, say your opinion and get on with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to, like, when I get an argument at the grocery store, I don't need to look around to the other people standing behind me and be like, am I right? Am I right? Like, I don't need to say that. Like,
it should be $3.99, right?
Yeah, like, I don't need to ask the 5 people behind me. I just say it. So you get the point of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not saying it
a few months ago, when Scott Hall died, you had posted something about Scott Hall. What was your connection to him?
Oh man, so I mean, I go way back with him, dude. I think the first time I hung out with him was like one of the Juggalo gatherings, maybe. And I mean, we spent a lot of time talking, spent a lot of time together. I remember Cody Hall was real young and coming up, and he's kind of a dick now, but he was cool. he was really cool back then. He really kind of looked up to me, which I thought was hilarious because I was like, I'm nobody, dude. And you know, his father was Razor Ramon. Like, he used to ask me questions about wrestling. I was like, what are you asking me for, dude? Ask your dad. Like, I was like, I can't tell you shit compared to this guy. But I think he was smart though, because he was asking me about the lower level, like indie wrestling, because that's where he was trying to get. And so he wanted to know how that all worked. And I don't think Razor Ramon really knew how that all works because he never had to deal with that. So, like I said, I had a real good relationship with him. And, you know, he's one of those polarizing guys. Some people love him, some people hate him because of personal things, and I get it. And he was always a sweet guy to me. You know, when I bought my house, he came to my housewarming party. And, I mean, I don't have a bad thing to say about him. He was an awesome guy. And, you know, it was really shocking and sad to see that he kind of died out of nowhere. And, yeah, it was just a bummer. And it's like, he's such a good dude. And, you know, like him, there's guys like him, Kevin Nash, Sabu. There's like a few of those guys that, you know, I'm really tight with, and like even Foley, really. And you know, you don't talk to him every day, but when you do, sometimes you get together. Sometimes the last couple of days you're hanging out and travel together. Always a great time. Even though I texted DDP my news article and he didn't even respond. But I see how it is. DDP. When you wanted those book reviews, though, DDP, you texted me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of the game, right? Self-promotion, right?
It wasn't about self-promotion. I was just sending it over to him like, yo, check out what I did. I was just looking for good job. But maybe he was busy, whatever. I didn't pursue it anymore past that. But when he needed when his Amazon movie or whatever it was came out, he needed the book or the review. I wrote that review for him. But that's all right. But, if he saw this, he knows I'm kidding. Like I said, guys like that, man, they're special.
Yeah.
And, special to me. And, you know, just, you know, it's a shame, man, that I miss Razor already. And, you know, it's just one of those things, man. So, And it's kind of surreal to see life goes on because it's like I remember the day he died. I remember like Hogan was like hosting karaoke down the street, and just life goes on, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's like Razor Ramon's dead, and Hogan's telling people have a beer for Razor,
Yeah.
and it's how it goes. You're here one day, gone the next, so you got to make the most of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Definitely.
I think we're at a good stopping point. We're at an hour.
All right,
Man.
well, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much, Bryan, for coming on. We'll have you on again because I got questions about the wrestler and working with Aronofsky. So we'll save those for next time.
I got nothing good to say about it.
Well, hopefully it won't be another year before we have you on.
I really know what you guys want to do, man.
Awesome. All right.
I want to say thanks to everybody that asked questions, and if you didn't, don't be shy next time.
Yeah.
Sorry, my hair's a little messy, guys. I got to get ready for this show now, but I was trying to get a little extra sleep today because I was up pretty late.
Yeah, plug the show for tonight.
Full Impact Pro. I'm wrestling Dak Draper actually. So
Oh, cool.
Ring of Honor guy, very lanky.
Yeah.
I don't know much else about him. I see him on he was kind of breaking into Ring of Honor, I guess, and then it kind of closed down.
Yeah.
Now he's not. So hopefully it's a good beginning for him in FIP, and we have a good match, and should be fun.
Awesome.
So, but like I said, Full Impact Pro. You could actually that one streams live or whatever. So www.live.com.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on Fight no more. I was so disappointed when they stopped going on Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know the inner workings anymore. But so yeah, www.live.com if anybody wants to watch it. If not, I don't blame you. And that's where I'm at.
All right.
So
Yeah, we'll have him back, George. We'll have him back for sure. Absolutely.
You don't got to do the wrap up with me. I'm just gonna split. I really got to go because I'm actually running late. Thanks for all the compliments, guys. I appreciate you. If you don't have me on social media, add me at the Bryan Idol, Instagram, Twitter. Again, dude, thank you guys so much. I got to run though. Okay.
Always. Go ahead.
Mercurio also on Twitter.
Yeah, add Mercurio. That's like, the new wave there. So Mercurio.
Before you go, can you quickly give us a Mercurio accent?
All right. So I do not want to offend the show, but I have to go fixing my hair as a lady is coming over, and it's a busy day for me. So please, show some respect and let me go.
All right,
we'll see you later, Bryan.
I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that is it. That is our show. Holy cow. Wow. I'm telling you, man, I love having him on there only because that guy talks and he shares, and that's what's so great, man, is that he opens
we don't really
up.
have to ask much. We get a few questions.
Yeah, we don't. We just let him go. We just let him rip and roar. I was taking a nap with my eyes open. I didn't have to do squat. It was awesome. So, so that's our show. You can find us, of course, on all our social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can go to all these other places. But if you want to know what those links are, you have to go all the way down. Go to our homepage, fnwrestling.com. Are you there? All right, now go all the way down, a little bit further, a little bit lower. Right there, that big line right there with all our social media. That's where you find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Or you can just go on our link, our description here. We got the links all there as well.
Yeah, we got the links on here too. You can do that, or you can go to the awesome website. We put a lot of work into that website.
Or you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees /Evan Wrestling. Get yourself a Johnny F and Canuck shirt.
Or get yourself a Just Another Effort podcast, because now that name is gone, it's a collector's item.
And we're going to have the beautiful, as you can see in the corner, new logo, the All F and Wrestling Show, where that shirt's coming out this week.
Yeah.
It's going to drop on Monday. So get yourself an All F and Wrestling Show shirt. I'm excited to get it.
I'm ready to get it. I've got I got money burning in my pocket. Let's get that shirt out, damn it.
Yeah, I'm excited. And next week we're gonna have all our everything kind of all effing wrestling show orientated with the news and the main
What
event.
next week is what? What is next week? Is that round table for us?
It's the round table. We got our voice of the females of wrestling. Rebecca.
Yep.
Is making her debut. And also we're gonna make him laugh so much because he just laughs at everything. Justin Marcassini. We're gonna make it so he's just laughing the whole time.
Yeah, we're gonna crack that motherfucker up. That's for sure. He's not gonna be able to breathe by the end of that.
And this just in.
Episode. Yeah.
We have Roddy Piper's daughter on an upcoming show. We don't know when it is.
Yeah. It's in the air. We're trying to nail down dates.
I've been talking to her on Twitter. Roddy Piper's daughter is potentially, I'm not going to make any promises because anything can fall through, but Roddy Piper's daughter is talking about coming on the show.
You hear that, Haney? You hear that? We're bringing Piper's daughter onto the show, you SOB. Don't know when.
Piper is, I guess as we're growing, people don't ignore me anymore.
Yeah, I know. Now we got 1,000 subscribers, man. People, we are in the land of love here.
We got Top Dollar following us now.
Yep, Top Dollar's following us. That got me all excited. I ran around the house like a crazy person. Top Dollar. My wife's like,
so hopefully, maybe if you're watching this, Top Dollar, if you're watching your friend Bryan Idol, and you watched it this far, you didn't turn it off. Come on the show. Yeah,
you got an open invitation. Say with another wrestler that we're very familiar with. Of course, is Hulk Hogan. And we've invited Hulk on the show multiple times. How close are we? Are we like 10%? Are we 90? How close are we to getting Hulk Hogan?
Well, I don't know. Don't you have a buddy that knows him?
I do have a buddy. I've been working with him. He doesn't like to, interfere in the whole, I know Hulk Hogan, I can get you anything you want.
Okay. So, Hulk Hogan, we were kind of doing phone tag. We weren't getting each other's calls. We were sending messages back and forth. And Hulk Hogan said, we'll have to catch you next time, brother. And always remember, only love, HH, and, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Does that count as a point or not?
Half a point. I go half. Let's go with the full point.
4.5. Effing wrestling, 699. Canada Dry and effing wrestling. Ouch.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.